And we're back. So, yes, once she in her head has gotten rid of her rival in a very chaotic, bludgeoned, bloody scene, she goes out there and it's as if she goes through a transformation, and it's almost like she's enveloped the black swan, its femininity, its sensuality, and and according to the black swan, I'm sorry, to the Swan Lake, the purpose of the black swan is that she is seduced by the dark side in a sense, and all the things that she wouldn't, the white swan would never embrace, the black swan embodies. And so as she starts doing the spins and these beautiful black feathers appear, she goes in for the kiss with the choreographer, the same one that was really pushing his limits. In today's Me Too um, society, this would not happen. But again, it's contemporary, but not so contemporary. 2010, and I'm sure they shot in 2008. But she more or less becomes this other woman, and she gives him the kiss of a lifetime. He's left like, oh. Soon after, she gives the performance of a lifetime. Even her colleagues, her other dancers on the stage are like, wow, didn't think she had it in her. She is met with a roaring applause, and she knows that she like, but in her head she sees these feathers she has become, and her eyes turn this bloodshot red, and hence the makeup. They look like two swans. um, Beautiful, beautiful cinematography, I gotta say, especially the lighting too. So as she goes back to her dressing room, she has to finish out. The white swan has to decide which side to go with, her dark side, embrace her dark side, or live the rest of her life in an innocent white, swan like way. But she realizes that, as she's getting prepared, the Kunis's character, Lily, comes knocking at her door and is fangirling over her. Oh my god, girl, like, wow, maybe we got off on the wrong foot, but you were amazing, and actually even inspirational. She's drooling all over her for whatever purposes of her own accord. But it's there that we realize, Nina, Natalie's character, is like, what happened here? Because I could have sworn, and I saw a bloody mess, that I had stabbed her. So she checks the bathroom door where she dragged her corpse, where she had thought she had dragged her corpse. There's nothing there. And as she's getting ready, she notices this big gaping hole in her stomach. She stabbed herself. She literally saw a whole fight in front of her eyes, believed it, and shattered glass from the mirror and stabbed what she had assumed was her rival, and in reality the only person that was her rival was herself, and she stabbed herself. So she finishes out the the movie, or the last scene, the last dance sequence, and does a remarkable job. Everybody is clapping, enamored by her performance, and then she's to leap off some, like, high pedestal, and then leap off into a mattress, and she does, and everyone is like, applause, 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 and the choreographer, the lead choreographer, the cad that he is, starts calling her little princess, which is creepy in itself. But Winona's character had forewarned her that, like, once you become his pet, he starts calling you little princess. But then realizes something's wrong, very wrong. She's bleeding a lot. And then they realize that she had done something to herself, hurt herself. And it finishes there. So we don't even know if poor Nina survives, what happens soon after. It's just left for us to finish in our own heads. If I'm not mistaken, too, I think that this film is she was awarded I think a Golden Globe. I don't think she got the Oscar for that year for this movie. I'm not sure. Don't quote me, but I know she won the Golden Globe, and she was pregnant at the time. And she admits that she met her baby father. I don't know if they married, um, based on this film. So it just goes to show. But anyway, I know this was a review. I'm sure maybe you have seen it, you haven't seen it, but it gives me very much New York vibes and Christmassy kind of vibes because of the just just the fact that it's at Lincoln Center, and anything associated with Lincoln Center is very opera like, and I don't know, and just the fact that they shot in wintertime too. You can see the peacoats and you know I think there's moments of snow. So this is what I'm saying. There are movies that will remind you of Christmas without it being like Merry Christmas and singing holiday songs. um I wanted to make mention real quick too that because there are a bevy of other films that you can check out. Um, I believe it was another movie I saw too. Tanya isn't a technical Christmas movie, but I want to say because it takes place in an ice skating rink. And it's really a sad film actually. To the credit to the credit of Margot Robbie, she's done a number of films, and she's done a really remarkable job. I don't know exactly how old she is, but she seems very young. I think she's done Suicide Squad. She's done The Wolf of Wall Street, um, and and she was that movie by Tarantino. I forget, but I know that she got a lot of critical acclaim and accolades for her role as Tanya Harding, Margot Robbie. I think she's Australian, but she embodied Tanya Harding and the whole story, the whole cast, even down to what is her name, McKenna Grace. She did a remarkable job as young Tanya Harding, and you can see this home was just her. I can't believe that that was her real life story, Tanya Harding. Because again, we always root for the innocent, virginal, white lily characters in these movies. Although this is a movie, this is based on real life. And we just assume that, oh, she has to be the devil. But, when you see her backstory, it's like, wow, it's truly heartbreaking what she went through. But this actress, I believe she was in this season's most recent season of Handmaid's Tale, and she's all grown up. So she's just, she's one of these actresses that start young, and you could tell that she has the chops. Like, I think she couldn't have been more than like 7 or 8 in this film, but really, really well done. But yeah, it kind of reminds me of winter. And to a credit to, hold on a second, Allison Janney, who played her mother. Uh, Horrible portrayal. And if there is truth to it, wow. But Allison did a phenomenal job, and I believe she won the Oscar that year for this film. Again, sometimes you can't pick your parents, but wow, what a whopper of a lady. And Allison Janney, she can embody literally anything. I give her much props for her talent because it's amazing. And then to go from this to the show that she does, that she was doing, I think on CBS, I believe, called Mother. She has such great comedic timing and chops, but then can do a dramatic movie like this. I mean, multi-talented. So that's another movie that makes me think of the Christmas holiday for some reason. maybe because of the cold. Um, I just saw Parasite on Hulu. Oh, and all these films are on Hulu. Parasite, which, if you don't have any idea, was a foreign film, and I think it won 2020's best. It won a bevy of Oscars, but it definitely won Best Picture of the year, and rightfully so. It was an incredible, fresh perspective, life, and hold on a sec. So it takes place in South Korea, and what we're introduced to is a poor South Korean family living in a tiny, dark semi basement, and a wealthy family living in a glamorous home in Seoul, I believe. That is where the wealthy Park's home is set in Parasite. The area is a home to many business families and diplomats. It is known as South Korea's version of Beverly Hills, an extremely wealthy community in Southern California. Now, that's a story in itself, and perhaps I'll maybe do a separate video, because it doesn't, it needs more of an explanation than this little small thing I'm providing. But I want to say that there are some instances that are really violent in this film, and looming over their head is a sign that says Merry Christmas in one scene in particular. In this very posh home, which I believe the former owner was an architect and had not only a visual landscape, beautiful windows that stretches anyone's imagination, and the visuals, just seeing like forest like backyards. But he created a bunker inside the house for just emergency purposes, and we discover that someone is living under the stairs. So very much like that movie, there are people living under the stairs. But how violent it gets, and you see that streaming Merry Christmas. Again, these are just suggestions, if just in case you don't want to see the traditional holiday movie like the ones I've mentioned before, like Elf or Christmas Story, the Santa Claus. You just want to see something really out of the box and maybe a little on the terrifying side. There's that. And what's another one? I think of, well, Die Hard. Die Hard. Yippee-ki-yay, but that's also, it's not necessarily a Christmas movie, but there are instances of Christmas in the film. Another great suggestion, Bridget Jones's Diary. Love story, comedy, but also takes place around Christmas time. So not necessarily Christmassy, but in the theme, right? And that's how she meets her Mr. Darcy, So that's also suggested. I think that's on YouTube. You can see it, at least the first installment of Bridget Jones's Diary. And what's another great? Oh, and Dexter. And now I'm not saying necessarily every season, but definitely the first season. That is one poo-poo platter of gifts. Like actual presents. And I honestly, I feel like most first seasons are like, wow. So between that and True Blood, but True Blood doesn't have any, I don't think it had any Christmas elements. But definitely Dexter season 1 on Netflix. So with that, I will leave you guys. Just a quick recap of Black Swan and a number of other films that you can catch on Hulu or Netflix or YouTube that are, reminiscent of Christmas, but not necessarily Christmas-like. So, I hope you've enjoyed my review. Leave us a comment down below. Was it helpful? I hope my list was helpful. And stay tuned. I may be doing a couple of other looks if I have time. And I still have to catch up on a number of other reviews that I have pending. But yes, give us a like, If you'd like to follow my videos, my channel, sorry, hit the subscription button or the notification button so you can be alerted of my next upload. And until next time, kitties. Do you like the aesthetic? I love these wings. Honestly, they're a really great investment from Five and Below. I think you can get them online, but still. Very, very dramatic. I love them. Till next time, y'all. XOXO. Nerdy girl. Oh, nerdy girl.